And welcome on into a Wednesday edition of Philly Voice Sports Bets. I am Harry Mays. Of course, we got Eytan Shander in the upper left and Devan Kaney in the upper right. And lots to get to today. We have a Monday night football game that I know we hit a bunch of wagers on. We got Thursday night football coming up with an injured quarterback for the 3-0 Miami Dolphins taking on the woeful Bengals, who have gotten off to a slow start. And, of course, look aheads at college football, which might be impacted by the storm. We don't know. I mean, I know Tampa has moved all their facilities and everything to Miami as they prepare for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see if that game actually takes place in Tampa. They have the right to move it, I think, up until like Saturday afternoon or something, Friday or Saturday afternoon. So a lot to get to today. But let's start with that Monday night game, which I knew would be a stinker, and it was. But you can still make money on bad games. And I know Eytan and Devan, we had some player props and stuff. I had the under, and I had to sweat that thing. Thank God I went to bed.
Crazy. Yeah,
I went to bed.
39.5?
39.5, and it ended on 39 as Dallas scored a bunch of points in the fourth quarter. But what were your overall thoughts on that game?
Good. Look, I'll just say for me, I'm watching a dog shit football game with the only vested interest of each of the three running backs going over their rush props. Right. And that happened. So
Pollard was big.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I'm looking for is just, all right, get over your carries, Saquon, Pollard was huge. And then Zeke was still a little bit of the wild card, but
and Noah Brown over in receptions at 3.5. He had 5 catches on 7 targets.
I think I brought that up. I think I put a bug in your ear about
I tailed you on that.
I should have tailed Devan's any times as well to make it a complete night, but not bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really tough game to even get myself to place any bets on because I wanted neither team to win, which was, of course, impossible. But, Pollard, running game, Eytan, I totally agree with you. Glad that all those numbers that we predicted hit. And I am not looking forward to the next time I have to watch an NFC East game like that.
Yeah, and Graham Gano.
Oh, sorry.
I even had Graham Gano. I think, Eytan, you gave that out at over 6.5 points.
Well, it was over 3.5 field goals was the play.
I had 6.5 points.
Yeah, you took the no, which is what it was. Yeah. And I mean, we had 3 field goals at least in the first half. There was a missed kick too.
Yes.
So it could have been that. But real quick to Devan's point, I mean, we're basically watching that every time it's an NFC East game without the Eagles at this point until Dak Prescott is back. Right? It's pretty much what we saw on Monday night. Unless it's the Eagles playing, because Washington is even worse. That offensive line and Carson Wentz is even worse than the quarterback combo we saw Monday.
Can you guys imagine, like, Commanders, Giants? Like, oh, my God.
We have Commanders, Cowboys this week.
Yeah, true. That's also going to be
I love Dallas.
Yeah, and you got to give Dallas and McCarthy some credit here. I know everybody wants to rip him, including us, because we don't like Dallas and we don't like giving him credit. And he's kind of a bozo kind of coach, but he's done a pretty nice job. And they have as a staff, you lose your starting quarterback in this league for a couple of weeks, and you can sort of maintain and win a couple of football games. The coaching staff deserves a lot of credit.
Well, are you guys buying into the Cooper Rush hype? Like, I'm seeing a lot of maybe Cooper Rush fits the Dallas offense better than Dak Prescott.
Well, he gets rid of the ball quicker than Dak Prescott. That's one thing that he does really well, and I think that's why he's been successful.
Look, I think Cooper Rush is playing for a job, but it's not in Dallas.
Right.
I think that's probably the most of the hype that I'll buy, which is I'm not going to fall into a, Kevin Cobb or Ty Detmer, back and forth here, right? So, or whoever.
Minshew mania.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Which was awful. Now, not to say falling into Minshew mania and backing him and having fun and growing the fake stash and having the mullet and the jean shorts. That's fun.
Love that.
But having a conversation about would you rather have Hurts or Minshew? I'd rather be hit in the face with a bat. That's
I would like to see you in one of those Top Gun jackets, Eytan.
Well, I'll tell you what. If for whatever reason Jalen Hurts, no, I don't even want to put that out there. All right,
no, don't even say it.
Devin won't let you say anything negative about Jalen.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Like, even I wouldn't say that. Even if I had money, I wouldn't even say that. All right, as bloodthirsty as I am, betting on 13-year-olds to hit a ball out of a park.
Right. Well, what's that sweatshirt you got on there? Are you repping NFL gear?
Big Rob Lowe energy.
No. It's
alumni.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stole this.
Yeah, who'd you steal that from? Who got you that?
So actually, no, wait. This I have two alumni. One I stole from a guy I used to do a show with, Rodney Harrison. I used to do a show with him, and I stole some gear from him. This was actually given to us on a remote, Harry. If you remember, we did something at an electric place down in South Jersey.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But I didn't get any gear.
Yeah. They gave us a couple of. Really?
No,
I got gear. Maybe that was the difference. You got a check, and I got paid in sweatshirts. That actually makes a lot of sense right now.
I remember getting a check.
But no, I'm not pulling a Rob Lowe here. All right, okay. I'm not just sitting here like, yay, sports, right? Like, no, there's fandom.
Like, I just hope every team has fun energy.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Thursday night football, Miami at Cincinnati. Cincinnati opened, I believe, as a 3-point favorite. It's now up to 4. At least last night it was.
Yep.
And on DraftKings, money going on Cincinnati. I think a lot of that has to do, or all of that has to do with the fact that Cincinnati's at home. They need the game, and Tua is banged up. What are your thoughts on this? I already grabbed Cincinnati. I said at the end of the show, I think after we signed off on Monday, that I already have Cincinnati -3.
I don't know why you would. I don't know, Devin. I mean, I'm seeing 4. You can get it at Unibet, DK, PointsBet, so you can get 4 across the board here. You're probably losing. Like, today is really FanDuel. Really, if you want to look at it, is the last place that you can get Cincy. One of the few, if not the only place in PA, at least, that you can get at 3.5. So it's completely moved off of 3. Yeah. You're not going to find 3. Anymore.
Wait, I had Bengals at -4 on FanDuel. Just like
right now, again, this might not be updated, but what I just had was -3.5. So again, that my site may not be updated. If you have it right now, up to date at -3.5, then that's moved too. Or at 4, then that's moved. Right. Point being is that none of this shit's going to last.
Yeah, so I feel pretty good about having 3, and this is a tough spot for Miami. Dude, it's not about the Bengals. It's about Miami and what they did last week in beating Buffalo at home, a huge emotional win. And coming now, they're undefeated. Everybody's talking about them. They got a short week. They got to travel a little bit to Cincinnati and face a team with a really good quarterback that needs a win. I like the Bengals, and I feel good at 3 that line's moving up.
We don't know for sure Tua's status yet, do we?
No, but he's hurt. If he plays, he's going to be playing hurt.
That's fine.
So I just don't see the Bengals getting a win in this one. I actually just put in a parlay for this game on FanDuel. Ooh. I did Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown, Joe Burrow over 266.5 passing yards, and then Dolphins money line at +165. Because I agree, I think the Dolphins are beat up after last week, especially their defense. I mean, like, Josh Allen and the Bills kept that defense in for a lot of that game, so they're going to be pretty gassed. Burrow does well against the blitz anyway, so I think he'll be passing it a lot, but I just don't see them winning this game, even if he was a little banged up.
Who was the anytime touchdown?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, okay.
All right, so you've got Hill. What was the other one? Dolphins.
Burrow over passing yards.
Right? Burrow over passing yards at 266.5, and then Dolphins money line.
So right now, FanDuel in PA still has it at 3.5. So what I would do is just wait until it moves to 4, because your money line's going to bump up. So that's at 609 right now. If you got that at 4, what do you think the money line moves to? 175, maybe 180.
What's it at? It was one.
It was at
155 when it opened. Yeah,
I'm looking at it right here. It's +3.5 -102 +166. So look, this is moving. Like, it's Wednesday, and so much is awaiting what's going on with Tua. So this is moving. I like this same game parlay a lot. I think Burrow's definitely going to be either way. Burrow has to throw.
Yeah, he's going to go for 300.
I'm betting on the Bengals losing, but he's going to throw the ball.
Right. I mean, look, Tyreek Hill. Did you hear what he was talking about already with Eli Apple? He's calling Eli Apple out one-on-one. Like he's saying, if it's one-on-one, I'm getting the football. I mean, this is like what Devontae Smith said as far as if it's a 50-50 ball, it's my ball on steroids. What Tyreek Hill is individually calling somebody out. Now, normally you look at that stuff and think, oh, no. You know, if it's a third-string linebacker saying, we got this, you're like, whoa. But Tyreek Hill is a good enough player in a one-on-one situation where I think he can cash some checks. So, look, the whole thing centers around Tua, but I'm more on Devan's side than your side, Harry, which is if Tua is healthy, I hate Cincinnati. I hate everything about Cincinnati. The coming off the Super Bowl, the triple Lindy, the Burrow still not quite there yet. Like,
I'm not looking for allies or friends here. I'm just
I
saying,
understand.
I'm just saying
Nor
what
am I
said.
looking to make you my friend.
Right,
I get
exactly.
that. I get that. No, if I'm not allowed in your clubhouse, I'm not hiring a lawyer. I promise you.
Right. You got to give me a Schwartzman, my friend.
No.
You got to do a Schwartzman style when you say that. All right.
Plus 609 on the same game parlay. I like it, man. I like it.
All right. So we're on opposite sides on Thursday Night Football. Anything jumping out at you from Monday to today about the NFL or the college weekend? I've got a couple.
Well, why don't you start?
All right. Kentucky is going on the road to Ole Miss.
Oh, Harry.
And Ole Miss, it opened at -6.5 and 55. The total has come down to 54.5 the last I checked. I am on the over in this game. I like both
points.
I like both of these quarterbacks. Will Levis is a stud, former Penn State kid who's now at Kentucky. And Jackson Dart is the USC transfer who's playing for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He's gotten off to kind of a dodgy start, but I think this game they're gonna throw up some points. And the Grove is going to be rocking on Saturday morning, hotty toddy all day long. And I think somebody's going to get in the 30s. And I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring 60-some point game. I'm on the over.
What's in that drink?
I'm not sure. Probably some kind of bourbon.
Isn't it something warm though? Is it?
Yes. It's a hotty toddy. It's a warm drink. I'll look it up.
Okay.
I've never had one.
What's in a hot toddy?
What's it? Yeah.
All right. I love hot toddies.
Oh, perfect.
It's like warm water, or you can like put tea in it. Lemon, bourbon, whiskey, one of those.
I figured it was bourbon.
Liquor. And honey.
So it's a good morning drink, is what you're telling us.
Exactly. It's a good wake up.
Like I drink them when I'm sick.
Got it. For your throat, right? Like
and also like I have like this dated like family trick that like bourbon, which like makes me sound like an alcoholic. Bourbon kills, whatever virus is.
Well, I am an alcoholic, and I can attest to that because one time at
no, it really does work though.
It does. Well, one time at Shippensburg, I had what would be called COVID today. There was the flu so bad on a Saturday morning, and one of the alumni guys came up from Philadelphia. He had graduated years ago. I never met him. He finds out that I'm sick, and he wanted to party with me. He brought me a half-gallon jug of Jack Daniels, and we drank the whole thing on Saturday, he and I. The sickness was gone. I felt like a champ on Sunday morning.
I swear, it really does work. It kills whatever is going on. So,
how much?
Hot toddy.
I have so many questions that we don't have any time for even me to ask one following that story. But here's the one thing I do know is I know Harry well enough to not doubt a shred of that.
No, it's true. Bob McElwee was his name.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. All that for Hottie Toddies. Now we know what's in them and the history behind Harry's Jack.
There you go. Now, what do you think about? Go ahead.
Yeah, those totals are dropping.
Oh, they are? Good.
Yeah. Remember, we talked about this hurricane.
Yeah, but they're not going to get any storm in Mississippi, man. That thing's heading up to the Atlantic coast. It's going to hit like Clemson area, North Carolina. No,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but this game's in Mississippi.
Correct. Oh, I was moving on.
Okay.
I like the total. I thought you definitely found a good area there with a lot of points, both of those offenses for sure.
Okay.
I was just saying, for me, from just the college thing I'd bring up here is under 64.5. Remember, this is one of them. We talked about Coastal. That's now down to 58.5. All of these have dipped significantly. So hopefully you got into UNC, Duke, Clemson, and Coastal because they've all lost significant value. And if the games are being played, you might have got in a touchdown's worth of points there. The only other thing I'll mention is I'm on Kansas, man. I'm on Kansas as far as a money line play. I think this has been a hell of a season for them.
Yeah.
And they continue. This is a winnable game at home against Iowa State, where they're just a short dog.
They're a short dog. Yeah, there's talk about their quarterback in the Heisman race.
I'm telling you, it's fabricated, but there is some sense of reality for what they've done.
That
and then
coach
lastly,
done a hell of a job.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you can still get value with them as a home dog in this game against Iowa State. And last, the only way to play BYU is the first half. You can lay 13.5. Anything under 14 is fantastic. Utah State is dog shit, and BYU is getting 2 of their healthy top receivers back in this game. So
beautiful.
Up of college.
All right, what about NFL? I'm on the Raiders at home to finally get a win. I got them at -1 on Monday. It's now, last I looked, up to 2.5. They're -2.5. The money line was -120 when it opened. Your thoughts of Denver at the Raiders?
I don't trust the Raiders to do anything after the first 3 games that they've had. I mean, they're a really frustrating team because, they have the talent, especially offensively. Going into this season, I thought they were going to be one of the best teams in that division. So the fact that they're 0-3, definitely a desperate spot to be in. And because of that, I could see them winning. It's also the Broncos who...
Yeah, they're not any good either.
Yeah, no. I'm not buying into that Nathaniel Hackett
right
coaching. So that's a tough one. I don't know. I would take the Raiders to win that game, though.
When your new head coach turns into a meme on week 1, it's never a good sign. And Nathaniel Hackett memes are all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. At some point, you expect them to figure it out, right? It's Russell Wilson. And at some point, they have talent for him to throw the football to. And the only guy that seems somewhat capable is Cortland Sutton. They have talent. They have 2 running backs that you can count on, an offensive line that should be able to block. My point being is we're still at this point where Devan's saying, I still like the Raiders at the end of the game is a viable point because Denver hasn't figured it out. I do wonder, though, if you can get ahead of Denver until they figure it out, because once they do figure it out, I think that offense can start clicking. But right now, I mean, this is, boy, what a game to start with for you, Harry. You really like self-punishment here. What is it?
Yeah, I like bad games.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's Eytan, everything you just said about Denver can also be applied to the Raiders. So it's
exactly.
Who are we going to see maybe try to figure everything out in this game? I don't know.
I also like the Detroit Lions this week.
That's way too big of a line to touch. I think the Lions
4.5.
Well, it was at 6.
It was 6. It's 4.5.
Point. Right.
Yeah.
So it's dipped a little bit. Yeah. I thought the Lions, part of me, were a good teaser. Let me throw these 2 at you here. I'm a little surprised that they've moved a little bit the opposite way, but the Cardinals are now even money at Carolina. Really? I understand how bad things have been for Arizona. They've been dealing with injury and suspension at the wideout spot, but Carolina? Really? Okay, so I like Arizona as far as an even money, a winner at Carolina. And Trent Williams being out is a big deal for the Niners.
Yes.
And I took the Rams money line to win that game too.
Okay, I like that. I might tail you on that one.
That's all I got.
And
guys,
Georgia
is really, we have a lot of outside factors, I feel, playing into this week's schedule with the hurricane and then the Vikings Saints in London. That game's at 9:30 a.m. Does that technically count as prime time for Kirk Cousins though? What time is that in London? Wow. I don't know.
Well, it's 5 hours difference, so it's 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Over there.
But here's the thing. Okay, that's a fascinating philosophical question. What constitutes prime time? Is it the fact that it's the isolated game and everybody's watching, or does it have to be at night? Because I'd argue it Wednesday, remember COVID days, Wednesday at 3:30, Steelers Colts, whatever the hell that game was, that was prime time because it was
an isolated game.
Yeah, but TV would say, well, prime time has to be 8 o'clock at night or something like that.
Right.
I'm going to side with it is prime time. I know we're getting out of here, but my vote is yes, prime time, and therefore Kirk Cousins' record is applicable.
And therefore you're taking the Saints. Is that where
therefore
you're going?
I'm not touching that game. Jameis Winston. We talked about this before the start of the season. Jameis Winston with a non-Hall of Fame coach is not a guy I want to put money on.
Wow. I like that. All right. Anything else jumping out? The Georgia line is up to 28. I got in at 27.5. They're going to smoke them. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, what is now 2-10 on Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. So this isn't Monday Night Football, but is it prime time? Maybe.
Are you going to fade that, Devan?
Maybe. I don't know. That game was kind of interesting for me to look at. I think I need to wait and see. I'll place bets on that one on like Saturday. Game time decision.
All right. Well, we can talk about those bets on Friday possibly, because that's when you'll see us next. Enjoy the football on Thursday night, everybody, and good luck with all your bets. Philly Voice Sports Bets will be back on Friday.